What's up, YouTube? This is Josh from s.h.t.f, and I got a fish head stew cooking video for you guys. I'm out here cooking in Uinta National Park with my friend Shane. We caught some trout the other day. I'm gonna chop the heads off them, and I'm gonna make fish head soup, which I've never tried, and see how it tastes in this video today. Roll the intro. Bag of fish heads. This one looks weird because it's already been cooked. These ones haven't been cooked. And then one last trout that I caught. I'm gonna cut this guy's head off, throw it in the bag. And then we got a little hot cup warming up over here on the fire. I'm gonna drop it in there. Actually, I'm gonna drop it in here. I'm gonna drop it in here with some water, and I'm gonna throw some spruce and dandelions in there just to make it more woodsy feeling, and throw it on the fire. Alright, fish beheading, and these have already had the gills removed when I clean them. I got a catch, clean, cook trout video where you can see the easy way to do that. You just slit them up the belly, cut up under here, get your fingers under their first gill and rip, and it'll get all the guts out in one piece. Cut the head off this guy. I'm gonna throw all these in this pot. Add some of this hot water. And I've got a bag that I usually bring camping with me that has a mixture of salt, pepper, Cajun seasoning, and some crushed chilies. Plus Shane's got a little bit of lemon powder. I'll probably put some of that in here. But I got one other thing. I got a little bit of spruce and baby spruce, and some dandelion heads, and some leaves from dandelions that I found the other day. Put that in there. It'll give it a little more of a woodsy flavor, a bit of a maple spice to it. The idea is we're just going to let these sit on the fire while we're gone fishing and let them cook all day. When we come back at the end of the day, you can start your fire again and just let it heat up again, or if you have one of those little burners, you can put it on there. But you just want to boil these like all day. And I brought a bag with some salt and cayenne pepper and pepper all mixed together. Shane's got some, I want to put some of the lemon stuff in it. Shane's got some lemon seasoning. This is the garlic and herb.
This garlic and herb got on the sandwich, which is actually good. It's pretty good and tasty.
Put some of this in there, and I'll put a little bit of my salt in. Salt and pepper mix. And we'll just let it cook all day on the fire. And the idea is you get the whole cabeza. There's no gills in here like I said, but there's brain, there's eyeballs. I like the trout eyes. There's some meat in there, the cheeks, and it'll all just fall apart. And you can pull the skulls out and you'll have like a soup. That's the idea. I've never had it before. This is my first time making it, first time trying it. Put a little of this lemon in there.
Also got a little bit of sage if you want.
I'm not a sage fan.
Not a sage fan?
A little more water. And then I'll add my salt and pepper and cayenne mix. And then we'll just put the lid on this, put this on the fire, and then later today we should have fish head soup. So, should be good.
There's a perfect size for everything. It covered the pot, covered all that, it covered it. Coals, surrounded by coals. And just let it boil all day.
Probably later after we fish and we come back, we have lunch and we heat it up a little bit. Let it boil for a while. By the time I leave later today, it should be ready to try it out. Right before I leave. Fish head soup. Oh yeah, cabeza más fina. Alright guys, if you're watching the fish head soup video, I just got back to camp. The coals have burned out and this is my last day here, so I'm trying to have fun with Echo. We just crossed the river, went fishing, do some fun stuff on our last day here. So when I got back and saw that the coals were out, I just threw the fish head soup on this thing and I got a good boil going. It had been cooking, I could tell, but I wanted to just stay boiling for a while. So I got it on here, real low heat, boiling away. I took the spruce out. All the flavor was probably already cooked out of the spruce, so I took that spruce sprig out. We'll leave the dandelions in there because they'll get mushy like a spinach kind of. And it smells really good. Update on the fish stew. Just have it on a real light. The butane thing is barely burning. Plus I don't want to use up all of Shane's fuel, so I have it barely going on a simmer. We had it at a nice boil before, but it's stewing with the lid on and I'm just stirring it up. Occasionally earlier I broke up a lot of the heads, broke the cheeks off, broke the eyes out. You'll see eyeballs floating in there. There's an eyeball right there. And skulls. By the end there'll be 4 skulls. I pulled these 2 out, which I guess the bottom jaw bones probably fell out and they're all in there. So you gotta be careful when you're eating it. But that's the main skull with eye sockets. 2 eye sockets right there. Brain would be back here. A little morsel of meat there. Let's try that. Little brain action. A lot of little bones, so I'll try to get most of them out, but there's 2 skulls. And I'll get the other 2 out when it's done cooking. Probably in like an hour. But the oils are all coming to the top. It looks good already. And that's dandelion in there. It looks like spinach. Got some salt and some pepper, some herbs and spices and whatnot. It should be pretty good. It smells really good. And we're gonna eat some Ready Wise chili mac for lunch real quick before this is ready. And I'm gonna cook one of my fish. I got 1 fish left. Give Echo a treat before we go of fish. He loves the trout. Just stick that cup of water in there and start boiling right next to it. Alright, last day on the camping trip, having some lunch. Here's the fish head stew. Echo, watch out, that's hot. We're gonna boil some water to make some cheesy mac, but this is for the fish head soup video. That's what we got. It's hot, so I'm gonna let it cool down, break it up real good, and find the bones.
That even kind of looks like the stuff off of Lord of the Rings. Fish stew.
There's a skull right there. It's hot. It's a big old skull. Look, there's an eyeball. Pop the eyeballs, get that eyeball juice. There's a jaw. It's hot. That went right through the eyeball. There's a bottom jawbone, it looks like. While it cools down, I'm gonna find the bones, pop these eyeballs, or not pop them, whatever. But that is definitely fish heads. Fish heads and dandelion spinach. I'm gonna let it cool down, get the bones out of it, and then I'll take a bite, tell you how it tastes. Well, this is take 2 on the trout head stew video. Taste test portion. I guess I wasn't recording that whole time, but I tasted it. Let me show you it. I already ate about half of it. Ate a lot of the dandelions. The dandelions were just like spinach. Shane tried a bite of it. You see the eyeballs? I talked about how the juice is very good. Just suck the juice out of it. Fatty, good. It's good for like a survival situation where you eat the fish and then you want to use every part. So you cut the heads off and you just throw them in a pot and let them roast all day, and then you sip it like a soup. There's a lot of good stuff in here. There's fats, there's brain juice, there's eyeball juice. All that stuff is good. So you could drink it, but the problem is when you drink it, you're left with all the meaty stuff at the bottom, which you want to eat. And when you're looking at it, it's hard to eat it. And there's a lot of bones, a lot of little bones, and be careful of the bones. But you basically just want to slurp it up. Got an eyeball in there for sure. And that meat is left at the end. You can eat that. But I've already eaten a bunch of it. This is not my first reaction because we didn't record the first take. Shane, what'd you think?
When I tried it,
Yeah.
it's quite interesting. And you're right, the dandelion is just like spinach.
Yeah. I put the dandelion leaves in there with just like spinach leaves. You can chew them up. And it helps with the texture. This is more just getting your mind over the texture and the eyeballs floating around in it and the brains that's in it and the bones. You see jaw bones with little teeth on them, and you'll see skulls with eye sockets. So if you look at it and you think about it, you might not like it. But it doesn't taste that bad. But I'm already kind of full, so I'm gonna stop eating. I spilled some on Echo. He's happy, you can lick it off. Echo. There's too many bones in that, dude.
Yeah, there's too many.
There's a lot of little bones in there, so you kind of do want to sip it. Slurp it up. But that was the trout stew. Trout stew cooking, camping cookout video. That was it. I hope you guys like it. If you do, thumbs it up, subscribe to the channel, all the good stuff. Watch the Let's Go Camping videos. Dreaded Conservative show Monday nights, all the good stuff. And we'll see you later. We out for this video. Peace. Say bye, Echo.